Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was a transformative leader in the fight for civil rights, social justice, and equality. Born in 1929 in Atlanta, Georgia, King rose to prominence as an organizer of pivotal events such as the Montgomery bus boycott and the March on Washington, where he delivered his iconic "I Have a Dream" speech. His leadership in the Southern Christian Leadership Conference spearheaded nonviolent resistance efforts to dismantle racial segregation and disenfranchisement in America. Beyond civil rights, King was a vocal opponent of the Vietnam War, condemning it as a moral and economic injustice that diverted resources from addressing poverty at home. He was also a steadfast ally to labor unions, advocating for workers' rights and economic justice, notably supporting striking sanitation workers in Memphis at the time of his assassination in 1968. King's enduring legacy as a champion of peace, equality, and human dignity continues to inspire movements for justice around the world. Tiffany Vakilian is a best-selling author, award-winning speaker, and creator of dual expression. She is also founder of Speak Fire Publishing, which empowers writers to transform stories into impactful published works. Tiffany has her master's and additional certification in transformative language arts and numerous career memberships. She is a dynamic teaching artist and editorial guidance, inspiring her clients and fans to confidently share their stories, achieving bestseller status, and reaching audiences worldwide. Victor Rogers, known in Baltimore's vibrant art scene as Langston Hughes, is a dynamic hip-hop artist, poet, writer, journalist, and national slam champion whose work resonates with cultural depth and creative innovation. Based in Baltimore, Maryland, Rogers has established himself as a leading voice in spoken word and hip-hop, blending art with activism to amplify marginalized narratives and celebrate Black cultural heritage. His work is characterized by a commitment to authenticity, risk-taking, and cultural integrity, making him a pivotal figure in Baltimore's arts ecosystem. Khadijah Z is an educator and multidisciplinary artist who began her journey in education and the arts at the High School of Music and Art in New York City and at Syracuse University, where she studied musical theater and special education. Coley has performed as an actress and a vocalist in a variety of venues, most notably the Kennedy Center and Blues Alley in Washington, D.C. Coley infuses her poetry throughout her vocal performances. Coley is the author of the children's book, Corey's Dreams, and she is currently working on the soon-to-be-released sequel, Corey's Crown. Akhtal is a scholar of the African diaspora who plans to go on to become a history professor and tap into every form of art, including video games. He has his associate's degree in information technology and plans to get his PhD in education, history, computer science, and psychology, as well as his bachelor's degree in immersive media design. He plans to go on to create a creatives collective of activists. He comes from a background of advocacy, from his educator mother to his Black Panther grandfather. He plans to keep the mission of every freedom fighter before him going. Yvette Green is a multi-genre writer originally from Nashville, Tennessee. She is the author of the 2025 poetry collection Between Sunsets. Her writing can also be found in Slate, Salon, and the Brevity blog. She lives in the DMV area, where she has grown to love go-go music and finds daily awe and inspiration in her two sons. Seneca Lofton is an award-winning poet, educator, and author. Lofton is the author of more than 30 collections of poetry, 3 novels, and 1 work of nonfiction. His poems have appeared in Clockworks Magazine, Revenge, Upstreet, Experience Reality, the Mid-Atlantic Review, the Skinny Poetry Journal, and Blue Collar Review. Lofton has recorded hundreds of singles, EPs, and albums of spoken word poetry. Dr. Khadijah Z. Ali-Coleman is a community organizer, cultural architect, and multi-genre creator with over 20 years of experience building vibrant arts and educational spaces. Her work interrogates identity, justice, and place, centering the lived experiences of Black women over 40. As a second poet laureate of Prince George's County, Maryland from 2023 to 2025, and the award-winning performance artist Khadijah Moon, her poetry, plays, and songs have been featured at venues including the Kennedy Center and Artscape. A prolific writer, her publications span poetry collections like The Summoning of Black Joy and A Park Stands on All of Our Graves, the children's book Mariah's Maracas, and the co-edited volume Homeschooling Black Children in the United States. She has executive produced numerous recordings and stage projects, and her journalism appears in Ebony, The Washington Informer, and over 25 other outlets. Currently, she's an associate professor in the Humanities Department at Coppin State University. She is also the CEO president of Black Writers for Peace and Social Justice, a 501c3 nonprofit organization. Hello, and welcome to the second annual With These Words Poetry Tribute to the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. My name is Khadijah Ali-Coleman, your host and the founder of Liberated Muse Arts Group and Black Writers for Peace and Social Justice, the presenting organization of today's program. Black Writers for Peace and Social Justice is a 501c3 nonprofit organization providing skill-building learning experiences and opportunities for Black writers and offering administrative training and services for literary and community-based organizations intent on public engagement practice founded in tenets of peace and social justice. Black Writers for Peace and Social Justice is the fiscal sponsor of Liberated Muse Arts Group, So Our Youth Aspire, and StudentMediaOnline.com, collectively working to serve the community for over 15 years. We envision a world where stories are tools for liberation, the arts are central to social justice movements, and diverse voices lead the way towards understanding, empathy, justice, and equity. Why poetry as a tribute? Well, hopefully by now we recognize the power of the arts. Poetry allows the poet to speak to the heart of a subject, speak about the feeling and impact of a person's life or a life event in words that go beyond mere rhetoric. And today's tribute is taking place while we are in a world that's in the midst of chaos, a world that Dr. King predicted. Our first poet today is a radical, transformative force of nature in the Baltimore art scene. Up next, we have poetry from the artist known as Langston Hughes.
So this is a poem that was actually written many moons ago. This was written just about 20 years ago now. Um, and it's in my book, the Chronicles collection of poetry that spans um, over about 15 years. This book entitled Language Arts and Griot Glimpses, Black Jesus Edition. Um, it's available online and all of the various places. And this poem was partially inspired by a particular episode of the Boondocks um, called Return of the King. And so some of the direction is inspired a bit by that, but it's also inspired by a book co-written by Dick Gregory and some others called A Murder in Memphis, which really dug deep into the King assassination. And I wrote it around at the time, 40-year, I guess, marking of King's death. And now it's been about 2 decades later. And yet it all still very profoundly applies. So this is called Deferred Dreams, or Soliloquy of a Quiet Nightmare. What happens to a dream deferred? Or even worse, a quiet nightmare disturbed? Awoken from within itself, silence broken, spoken like a gunshot quoted through the mouth of a sniper's barrel in Memphis. You see, the dream was murdered on a balcony in 1968, and it's my consensus that y'all niggas is still asleep, content in your own slumber. That's why the retention of our conscious conviction has been relentlessly rocked, while the majority of so-called black leaders just be sleepers who do nothing but talk. And if King was to come back right now, he'd probably say, fuck y'all niggas, and bounce to Canada like in that episode of the Boondocks. While America and the media tries to minimize the man and the vision to the size of a box, oh, we had a dream and then he got shot, wake up. It was called COINTELPRO, or rather the counterintelligence program was created and initiated by the SOG, seat of government, aka J. Edgar Hoover and the FBI, in order to target and discredit black leaders amongst their own kind through the dissemination of incriminating misinformation and lies specifically targeted at the time where any potential black messiahs with the power to move minds, provoking black people to unify and electrify the militant black nationalist movement. So 4 particular individuals were identified: Malcolm, Elijah, Stokely, and King. As they devised and applied pressure from all sides, and the instructions handed down were simply that nigger isn't to leave Memphis alive. So the coalition was given orders to kill by the shadow government in which to bring about a murder in Memphis, take out the one codenamed Zorro, and just in case put in place about 3 assassins to handle it. Contracted mafia mercenaries in the bushes, along with Memphis police in position, plus trained U.S. militia forces perched like birds of death on top of the penthouse across from it, with James Earl Ray as the unknowing patsy, undisclosed in a separate location, set up perfectly to take the rap for the shit and feed the media story that's somewhat miraculous. Plus, I find it strange how when King was transferred to the Lauren Motel, he was unknowingly moved from the first to the second floor near the balcony at the last minute. Not to mention, all of police protection was suspiciously removed on the very day of the incident. So now view the facts for yourself, because it's high time that we awake honestly. And when the shots rang out and fingers pointed, the direction was more like misdirection. Please don't believe the hype. The actual murder weapon has been lying at the bottom of the Mississippi River for decades, and yet whole and removed somehow now exists inside fake pics where it sits in pieces, broken like the crack that it's forever sat in America, because murderous mirage of so-called liberty, one nation under imperialism, literally from a fascist state of united snakes. This is not a debate. The matrix has been erased to recreate your fake history. So who actually deserved the responsibility? Who deserves the blame for the shot and the aim? Who stood to gain? Well, fuck the assumptions and that bullshit rhetoric you keep bumping. How about I just go ahead and name names? Earl Clark, Merrill McCullough, Percy Foreman, David Gall, Ramsey Clark, George McMillan, Jeremiah O'Leary, Richard Billings, Patricia Johnson McMillan, Gerald Posner, G. Robert Blakey, Cloud Tolson, Carthy DeLuce, Gerald Frank, Bill Edson, Lloyd Jowers, David Barman, James McLeod, George Lander, Clay Shaw, Frank Librato, Carlos Michello, William Shep, J.D. Hill, the Phoenix Operation, Special Forces Alpha 184, the 111th and 902nd Military Intelligence Groups, the Invaders, James McCraw, John Kipling, Dick Billings, C.D. Jackson, Donald Jameson, Donald Wilson, Evan Thomas, William Manchester, the Warren Commission, the HSCA, Jesse Jackson, Steve Tompkins, Bob Woodward, Richard Helms, Senator Robert Byrd, Senator James O. Eastland, Richard Pryor, E. Howard Hunt, William Bradford Hugh, Arthur Haynes, Raoul, the FBI, the CIA, contracted mafia hitmen, the Memphis, Tennessee Police Department, COINTELPRO, J. Edgar Hoover, President Lyndon B. Johnson, and a voluntary blinded United States government. Need I go on? I spit the language arts so you can do the math on your own. Open your eyes, open your mind, and you just might find something bigger than yourself. That's what King realized and visualized, a noble prize much greater than wealth, beyond material, but materialized through giving of self. But we can't see that vision because our eyes are shut, while minds remain stuck in a state of unconsciousness, including confusion through unprogressive circular movements inside dreams. Wake up, because this is beyond your words and a holiday to commemorate a dream that is deferred far past its expiration date. Wake up. We have nothing to celebrate. It's like we live in the United States of amnesia, moving with murdered memories, sleeping through life, and somewhere along the way forgot about those who sacrificed, hypnotized by spinning rims and blinded with excessive amounts of ice. Stop dreaming, like the vivid daymares of a stillborn fetus trapped inside the womb of life, whose mouth will never breathe the breath of reality. We walk silently awake while dreaming. On April 4th, 1968, at 6:01 p.m. on a motel balcony in Memphis, Tennessee, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was murdered, assassinated by the same government that now commemorates him with a holiday, dying along with him, his dream, yet no one seemed to have woken up. No one picked the torch up, like we all just closed our eyes and laid back in deep slumber, dreaming, waiting for Martin Luther King to come back, deferred by a dead dream. So now who's brave enough to wake up?
Beautiful. Tell people where they can find you and learn more and to purchase your books.
The book is on Amazon. It's Language Arts and Griot Glimpses, Black Jesus Edition. Um, and if you if you look deep enough into the YouTube archives, Slangston Hughes, Baltimore, there's actually the full version of that poem. That's actually an excerpt. It's a even longer poem. Um, and you can find me and my various artistic entities and personalities. Artist Alien 777 on Instagram. Artist Alien 777. That's usually where most of the happenings are happening that you can keep up with. And for us old heads on Facebook, my government name, Victor Rogers. That's a Victor Rogers, Victor Franz Rogers II, in full, which also sounds just as invented as slang Thelonious Coltrane or Slick Vic Lowe or Lyrical Leviathan or Art Vandelay. Victor Franz Rogers II sounds like some sort of German novelist, but it's actually my.
But you know what? I immediately think Franz Fanon. Yeah. So that if you told me that's who you're named after, I would, yeah. So I think you are brilliant. I'm glad that we had an opportunity to have you be part of today. Thank you so much, Langston Hughes, as always. And everybody, make sure you pick up a copy of that brilliant book.
Hello. I'd like to read two poems from my book, The Cry, Poems of Mourning Sickness, because I think they adequately capture where I am mentally in the politic of this day, of this season that we're in as people, as Americans, as the diaspora. So I would like to share them with you now. Seeing in the dark. This grassy blackness feels fibrous under the fingers. It reeks of old things, but now the perspective sees fertile soil. I wish and wonder while my fingers wander into this ground. This is a draft. I am a first round, maybe a second or even a third, who knows? But the darkness feels good. Before it felt lonely. The darkness does not feel silent. Now it feels ready. I'm coming alive in the death I thought had claimed me. This wasn't even a death. This was more a getting over myself. I can ask for more. I understand the value of my value. I can push and shove because I understand a tiny bit more of my weaponry, holding my voice sacred, not taking it for granted. It looks a lot more like quiet. I'm feeling a new height in this deep. And this unburying earth feels like I still have potential. I wonder what that will realize if I just till this ready soil. And to those of us who look around at the news and worry and wonder about what the ham and hell is going on, this is for you. You are not made of stone. Blackbird fly. You are not made of stone. All around you is proof of life. Write this down. Say it out loud. You are not made of stone. It's okay to feel the bad feelings, the childish feelings. You will never see perfection this side of heaven. And you are not made of stone. How does that blackbird fly? Very well, because she's mine. I give you phoenix dragonfly wings in sunshine through brilliant colors, and you are not made of stone. You want to tell them all how beautiful they are, how marvelous, how beloved. That's because you see them more with my eyes than you see yourself. Spell it right, spell it wrong. You are not made of stone. Blackbird, fly, shine, be all sides of what I have given you. Unfurl your wings and sing every note I have given you. Your heart is a heart of flesh, and you are not alone with me in your wilderness. I gave you people to walk with, to fight with, to be loved by. You are beloved, and you are good. Your magic is good. You are righteous, and you are not made of stone. Feel it. Feel it all. Go after that dream and smile with your cello-shaped, cello-colored body. It's yours, God-given. It's more than just skin, muscle, and bone. You are a healed, whole thing, and you are not made of stone. Blackbird, fly. Your wings are no more clipped than the ocean is held back. Breathe that in. Speak it out. You are not made of stone. You are mine, made of love, made of prophecy, made to love, made to prophesy. And you are not made of stone. You are made of blood, of flesh. God broke for you on your nastiest day. And here we are. Stand in your power, my princess, my prince, my child, my blackbird. Fly, because you are not, nor were you ever, made of stone. Thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of this.
Well, I think the country made a mistake when they killed Dr. King. It would have been far better if they'd killed Rap Brown or myself, because then they could say to black people that we're preaching guns, and he who preaches or who lives by the sword will die by the sword. But they couldn't do that for Dr. King, because he preached love. And there is no possible way for them to make an excuse of Dr. King's killing. So when they killed Dr. King, they just opened up the eyes of a lot of black people who were afraid to pick up guns, but now they will.
First, we have America in My Eyes. A system and perfect health. For those beneath the cistern, it generates wealth. An insincere dream, insincere mission, of which all actions gleam remission. Land of the free, home of the brave, I see the land of the downtrodden, home of the cowards. The downtrodden, the downtrodden, the downtrodden. Natives slaughtered by guns and disease, their land stolen away from them. Africans torn from their homes in chains, their history, their religion, their dignity stolen away. What to the slave is the 4th of July but a lie? Easy as pie, they only could try to make us forget that we built the set, held with no check, a country in debt. They speak of patriotism, but I see favoritism. They claim this land with rhetoric as coarse as sand. For manifest destiny, natives never knew peace. Leave, assimilate, die, choices with no tie. 4th of July, simply a lie. For a land they hold no claim to, they jump in elation. Y'all wanna pick and choose. Who can be here? Breed an environment of fear. Y'all wanna put all these checks on who? But who's gonna check you? The cowards, the cowards, the cowards. You kill anyone opposing you. Don't deny it, it's true. You squeeze all opposition blue. Complement of the capitalistic flu. You don't spread liberty. You spread jaded history. Smotherer of all ideals. Squeezed them till you made them teal. Martin, Malcolm, Fred, Patrice, executed with such ease. To you, many more have fallen. Seems you found your true calling. America, America, America. Don't you dare speak of heritage till your territories have suffrage. Till you admit you're an empire with a cruel heart of desire. Give more than an apology. Acknowledge the history. Give more than an apology. Give more than a rest in peace. Let us fulfill our destinies.
Greetings, Khadijah Z here. I'm excited to be here with you to celebrate the life and legacy of Dr. King. I want to share two poems with you that I did not write specifically for Dr. King, but both of these poems deal with injustice, and we know that that was at the root of Dr. King's work. And so a way that I chose to connect the poems to his work was I have two quotes from a letter from Birmingham jail, and I wanted to share that before I shared the poem with you. So this first quote from Letter from a Birmingham Jail, April 16th, 1963, Dr. King says, "We know through painful experience that freedom is never voluntarily given by the oppressor. It must be demanded by the oppressed." It must be demanded by the oppressed. And so this first poem is called Hell is Here. Hell is here. Black and brown bodies with bullets in city streets, some found with no breath in cold cells, in captivity far away from home. In a coastal land from river to sea, whole families no longer breathe. Bombs incinerate and evaporate legacies. Babies' limbs no longer found. Children's hands in Congo dig in mines underground. Mothers' screams are hollow everywhere. No one hears, eyes shut, pain pierces, stabs, and is never ending. Hell is here. The firestorm is upon us. Douse holy water on your front doors to keep the demons out. The devil is amongst us, smiling with glee. How did we get here? How did we let this virus spread? It seems it was always here, and we allowed our fear to guide us instead. So it slithered underground and gained strength until it was ready for a full strike. We ignored its hissing warning that its fiery hate can consume us all. How many times do they have to fill their empty vessels with our blood? The vampires must finally see the sun. The righteous will rise when we open our eyes and stamp out this evil together. Hell is here, but it doesn't have to be. We can suffocate it like blankets, warm and connected with the belief that we can survive this. They have spread and caught up to us in this race. We can't run out of this burning building, and there is no safe place to hide. We have to run into the flames, stamp it out, and claim its demise. We have to end it. We have to end it. This war on our humanity can be no more. Hell is here for now. The people will rise. The people always rise. Their hot hate has always made us rise. So smile and dance while you can, demons. It won't be long before you're through. All right, that was Hell is Here. And the next poem that I want to share is entitled Alien. But I want to share another quote from his work, Letter from Birmingham Jail, April 16th, 1963. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. We are caught in an inescapable network of mutuality, tied in a single garment of destiny. Whatever affects one directly affects us all indirectly. Whatever affects one directly affects us all indirectly. Again, both those quotes are from Letter from Birmingham Jail, April 16th, 1963. And here is the poem, Alien. I run for safety. I hide for my life. I cry out to God in the middle of the night. I am upended, a motherless child. Stolen memories, now nightmares. I have been defiled. I am not alien. I'm just like you. I just need a harbor before the storm washes me over. I just need cover so I can breathe again. Please let me in. Please let me in. From the cold wind blowing on my naked neck, I'm begging, I'm pleading, I'm holding on with all my might. I'm sinking, I'm screaming, hands tight, grip loosening. How long can I fight this endless fight? Was I made for this world? Do I even exist? I am invisible, losing my mind, disappearing and collapsing. I am a domino and feeling the effect. But I am not alien. I'm just like you. You put me in cages like I belong in your zoo. You forgot that I am human, and you forgot that you are too. You've lost your humanity, forgot your birthright. If I am alien, then so are you. If I am alien, then so are you. Thank you so much, Khadijah Z, and happy birthday, Dr. King.
So, without further ado, I think we need to bring Dr. Martin Luther King in the conversation. He said in 1957 in his book, Stride Toward Freedom, true peace is not merely the absence of tension, it is the presence of justice. My question is, how do we find justice in a world that prays to the gun? Before I share or introduce our next poet, I'd like to share my poem, We Give the Guns. It is included in my recent book, A Park Stands on All of Our Graves, which came out in November of 2025. We give the guns to rabbit sons who wear the skins of native ones, who sample grain and feast on pain, no grace, no mercy, this dead man's game. We give the guns and bombs in tons to war machines, and when it's done, we thoughts and prayers, we send fake cares, we dodge and dip on streaked entrails, evade world law in triumphant awe while holding close the monkey paw, martyred souls strewn about, headless mourners left inside out, a simple feat, a fattened bully with padded pockets and victims' clout. We give the guns to rabbit sons with blighted skin who'll bring the end, who live to die with resonant cry, right to exist, the biggest lie. So next up, I'd like to introduce, this is a poet I had the privilege of meeting, I believe it was year before last now, at another poet's book launch. And then I had the privilege of reading her debut poetry collection and blurbing it. I'd like to introduce to you Yvette Green.
Hello, everyone. I'm so glad to be here. My first two poems are what I may call my 2020 poems. So, just during a lot of the energy that was happening during that year. And I chose these two poems because they reflect people seeking, demanding justice, and just how our quest for justice continues. Protesters, 7 with a golden shovel, after Gwendolyn Brooks. They told us we were wrong to burn down real stores and communities. We should be cool, they said. They must understand who we are. It is time for us to go all the way left. We will destroy systems and schools of thought. They underestimate who we are. We will no longer lurk. We will be out early. We will be out late. We are strong. We are loud. We are here. We strike. We will no longer take the crooked with the straight, say their names, fuck the police. We sound off. Lift every voice we sing. We have bricks, fireworks, and their sin. We take back our blues. We take back our jazz. Understand, this is our June. The second poem kind of called to me as I was watching the Small Acts series by Steve McQueen. Small Acts, Mangrove. From West Africa to the West Indies and all the Americas, we were scattered. The shadows of ancestors shaped by memories of home, lost between Atlantic crossings, transform what was once lost. We are the West African proverb etched into reggae, transnational, diasporic, Black. We cross borders when we glare at power, hatred, white supremacy. If you are the big tree, the police tear at doors, threaten, arrest, nick Black bastards in the name of place inscription. We are the small acts. Immigrants, Bayesian, Jamaican, Grenadian, Trinidadian, dark as how, the alienated, we are ready to cut you down. Seek our revenge against society in another form. Althea Jones calls forth Yoruba, Haitian, New Orleanian forces. Ogun is the energy of iron. Ogun is the energy of the steel pan. Frank Critchlow gathers, cuts, root vegetables, cooks mutton and goat curry. Home is not fixed. He serves, provides Black joy, community, acts of protest. If you are the big tree, we march, demand, protest, police brutality, fail a system. We, 9, arrested, innocent, charged, riot, affray, high court, bias, power. We self advocate. We glare, recross borders. And Steve McQueen illumines our victory. We are the small acts. And then my last poem came about after standing on the land of my ancestor where he worked while enslaved. Descendants. When my descendants return to where I once stood, may they take my blood, sweat, and tears with them from this land forward to an Afro future where my story remains etched in stone. When my descendants return to where I once worked, may they see each other and all that is packed within them. May they help unfurl those hatreds and cast them as far as the east is from the west. May they dip each other in hot springs to cleanse their ova and sperm. May they drink sap and walk barefoot, holding each other's pain. May they gather electrons and reduce inflammation. May they harness the wind and just hold fast. May they watch the moon turn itself on over the course of night rising. May they whisk the clouds away with success so the moon smiles upon them. When my descendants return to where I once labored, may they be awake. May they have gained superior visions for this life and for their great grandchildren. May they know their strength like the sugar maple. May they see broadly beyond all that has happened and all that was. May they dive into oceans no home and rise.
Simply gorgeous.
Thank
What a
you.
beautiful prayer over all of us. So beautiful. Tell us where people can find more about you and to purchase. Tell us about your new book.
Okay, thank you. So I have a debut chapbook that should be out in March. I'm super thrilled about it. Dr. Ali-Coleman was so gracious to offer me a blurb. The title is Between Sunsets and it's through Finishing Line Press, which you can purchase through them, but I also have a link on my website, YvetteJGreen.com. And the book kind of memorializes the moments where we lose people and even our own skin at some points, those shedding, and then as well as what happens between those moments. So you can, like I said, find me on my website. You can have a link to the book. Subscribe to my Substack through there. My social media is also through there. So yeah, look me up. I'm glad to meet you all.
Fantastic. So before I introduce our next poet, I want to have Dr. Martin Luther King join us again with a quote from his 1963 book, Strength to Love. In this book, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. says, "The ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of convenience and comfort, but where he stands at times of challenge and controversy." And so in my book, A Park Stands on All of Our Graves, I wrote a poem called Soothsay because I believe when people like Dr. Martin Luther King, particularly him, as well as other prominent leaders that we know, but also those whose names we may not be aware of, were significant not only because of their power to mobilize us and inspire us, but also their predictive powers. And so this poem is called Soothsay. I predicted this moment when I was reborn without language and empathy, when I was babble and bluster, shaky legs, and watching eyes with fists clutched tight. I predicted this collapse. Unsettled by my return to a sour world steeped in inordinary violence, I remembered this place, mind tumbling to forget, The repetitive accuracy is a long-stemmed rose blooming with thorns poised to prick. Each time my death comes in the morning, an extinguished exhale through rotten debris, holding up hands to catch the light, to be the light, exclaim ruffled words that only plead for empty time. This is where they co-opt your pain. Swallow your screams, bathe in your black rock misery before memorizing the fine lines etched within your broken spirit, renaming this new discovery as something other than your own. They make a necklace of your hope to circle their ghoulish throat. This reunion is their last attempt to defile the shadows that will not die. This is our final incarnation to dispel the ash of their envy and blow the dust from our own eyes before we are doomed to re-enter this world that crumbles where we stand. All right. And so, without further ado, I'd like to introduce our next poet. Seneca Lofton is an amazing poet, activist, and teaching artist out of Virginia. And I am not going to say another thing. I'm going to let him speak for himself, let his art speak for himself. Welcome to the
All
mic,
right.
Seneca.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Khadijah, thank you for having me once again. Definitely an honor, definitely a pleasure. Mr. Slankson Hughes prepared the way for us. Bro, I hear like Ginsberg in your work. I hear Baraka. I hear Sanchez. I hear you. I hear you. I think you have an original, authentic voice. I think it's amazing. And Yvette, your craftsmanship, your craftwomanship, I can hear it. I can hear the beats in your lines, the way you construct your lines. I would love to see your work on the page. So I'm gonna definitely get that chapbook when it comes out. All right, let me set a few poems up to Dr. King. All right, so this is usually a travel day for me. We're usually in Washington D.C. Episcopal High School doing an MLK Day symposium. But we pushed it back a bit because the weather and stuff. So we're gonna leave tomorrow and get there. It's like 3 hours away. All right, a couple poems. This is called Brother Martin's Words. I wrote this particular poem, I think, for MLK Day last year for the Metro Record. It's a publication out of Atlanta, I believe. No, it's out of Massachusetts. The guy lives in Atlanta. And he wanted the poem for the MLK Day observance. I think last year. So this is called Brother Martin's Words. Cold temperature birth, cold temperatures birth a warm morning. Kwanzaa is on my mind like Brother Martin's words. Brothers Martin's words got them liberation blues. Them soul stirring blues, them shifting paradigm blues, blues, Coltrane. Surfing on a golden saxophone, or Nina Simone crooning rebirth, renaissance, or revolution. Hot blues, hostile blues, love's blues, beauty's blues, hot blues. I hang inside traffic's noisy belly, anticipating Greenbrier Parkway's heartbeat. A man stretches his legs at a bus stop, his curly beard hides his face, burying him beneath time. His black beanie stretches, crawling along his pale forehead. Brake lights gently flash. Day hides American hustle. Sunlight lazily yawns. Brother Martin's words cut across empty skies, spreading roots or resistance, disturbing the peace and singing about good trouble. Brother Martin's words. I've been writing, like I spoke to Khadijah a few minutes ago. I write a lot about Black joy, Black joy and resistance. I can never yeah. So Black joy and resistance, and I had an opportunity to write or submit a poem to a magazine. I think it's called Darling Nikki. It's an anthology called Darling Nikki, and where the first, one of the proposed kind of prompts was, talking about Black joy and resistance and what we do to kind of get by, with all the socio-political noise going on in America. So this poem is called Black Joy is a Breakbeat. Shaking dice or pistachios during a pulsing breakbeat, a 1980s thing. Boom, boom, bap, 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 bap. Boom, boom, bap, 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 bap. Militant intro into a New World blues. Blues preacher offers a sermon. Our Father which art in federal prison still dreams of home-cooked meals, laughing children and sunsets. More than tangible objects or physical feelings. Real freedom. No America needed. I surf this shifting paradigm like a pinstriped dragonfly hovering in late June. Boom, boom, bap, 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 bap. Boom, boom, bap, 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 bap. Black joy is resistance, resilience, a funky spell to level up in the game. Simmering in grandma's cast iron pot, hot, savory, polluting rooms with aromas and good vibes. Life is a breakbeat, so kind and pure. Black joy is a breakbeat. And kind of in this, this kind of string of poems. I wanted to do democracy as blues. I got the blues theme kind of running through these particular uh, poems because I feel like we're always in this like bluesy state, and I think about Frederick Douglass and how he used to talk about how like enslaved Africans used to sing these songs, and the tones of the songs used to always, you know, sometimes they would disturb him, sometimes they would give him hope, but he was so conscious of his surroundings that every time they sang these particular songs, it put him in this kind of like strange state of mind. And I started thinking, man, this is where the blues comes from. You know, thought it was really interesting. So this is called Democracy as Blues. Leaders trade seats, transfer mediocrity with slick tongues. Cross fingers, the people still flip channels. Fighting for better masters momentarily soothes troubled souls. Empire eats, belches, and says thank you. They like to be ruled, hoodwinked, bamboozled, Tunde says. The disenfranchised suffer. Marginalized groups pull on fatigues, black leather boots. Dismantling this funky machine requires feet to stand on squares. Drones find targets, conflicts stretch legs, people swipe left. The American way tilts its brim, wipes fresh blood from its cracked lips. Attitudes check behaviors. At doors, suppressed tempers surrender to the hustle. The people fix their uniforms, a tribe of bots carrying iPhones. Harm reduction is a real finesse. An elaborate hoax to disarm seething radicals, neutralize hot blood, I say. Red tinted sky breathes for some. A privileged shade of blue appears for others. The house wins again and again and again. A polluted structure refuses to heal. A rabid dog flashing teeth. A dream admiring hostile fingertips. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Sleep has an appetite. The machine needs a jutting blues like belly. Culture. Hunger is halted. Thirst is satiated. Savagery smolders. Democracy hums the blues and misses no meals. So sort of like looking at democracy as this hungry machine, or American democracy as a hungry machine.
Love it.
But
Tell us
appreciate
where
you.
we can learn more about you and
Uh,
your books.
Yeah, for me, IamSeneca.com is probably the best way to catch me. I got a couple of new books coming out. One called Dear Young People, young adult audience, and another one called Blues Man on a Tightrope, Volume 1. Those come out in the next couple of weeks. And then I have this spoken word project that I'm kind of re-releasing because it came out during COVID, so it never got the proper release. So Our Resistance will be out in February on all the streaming platforms. But IamSeneca.com is where you can find me. You can also sign up for the newsletter. I write poems every week, so you get free poems in your inbox on Fridays. Thank you, Khadijah. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you so much. We had so I would like for us to share our community poem that we wrote. I gave the prompt of what would Dr. King say to us regarding the times today. And so this poem that we wrote in 7 minutes as a community poem is based on that writing prompt. And so we're going to kick it off with Langston Hughes.
What the fuck is going on? Excuse me. I hate to speak like that, but Jesus, please be a calming hand.
The burning house continues to burn. Has resistance crafted a new language, or has she remained frozen in time?
Do not shirk. Do not shrink. Do not shirk responsibility. Shore up yourselves. Take up arms.
We stand on future rubble, murderous rock that predicts fire and death is its scent.
Peace is what I preach, but this rotten carrot posing as president deserves it the least.
So have people molested my refrains, sanitized my breaths, reduced my quiet militants to inaction and pop culture? What say you?
Unsheath your sword, he says. No time for wrinkled courage. Words are only oil tempting a match.
Flames will progress. We must transgress their boundaries. We may not regress.
It's death from dictators posing as democracy. Your doom comes soon for sunburned political hypocrisy.
The machine continues to consume our patience. It may be time to craft a new path in this empire.
There is no conscience in the blood of the colonizer that mocks the prayer in peace. A bullet is their sacred language aimed at the faces of a mother on her way to pick up her child, a father picking up dinner, a teenager leaving his after-school program.
We knew a time before where cool waters begged for us to come near. Today we must flock to museums, flow with our words, and fuck ice.
Burn this poison land down faster than a dry forest, but I won't be here for it. I'm coming back. I'm going back to Canada. I mean heaven. America, your greatest test is now.
Yes. Wonderful job, my friends. And thank you so much for joining me
Oh,
today.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Thank you,
Yes.
Khadijah. Thank you.